Happy Sunday and happy Mother's Day out there, everybody. Welcome to Forever United TV. We are in the paper talk. Well, we're looking at all the papers this morning, obviously after another Manchester United game. Now, last time we did this show was after the Fulham game. That was on a Sunday after United played on the Saturday, Last weekend, obviously, was building up to the derby. So there wasn't too much negativity going around, but it has heightened to the max today in the papers. Now, this isn't me driving what is a so-called agenda of negativity to Manchester United. As some people said after yesterday, I mean, if you thought that was a great game yesterday, then credit to you. Credit to you. But I was sat there and the papers reading what has been said about Manchester United's game. I pretty much agreed with most of the fans that were at the stadium yesterday and what a lot of people, majority of people were saying in the chat who was watching it at home and overseas as well, that it was very unconvincing. We're going to move on to that in a little bit. We did a lot of talking about that yesterday and we covered it well. We'll talk about a few opinions from it from other people, but we'll get into some other news. There are a few snippets. Obviously, the papers today are full of the game between Liverpool and City, crunch time. I was out this morning talking to a City fan. They're just hoping for a draw in this one and think Liverpool will ultimately, in the end, just drop away and City's charge will carry on. They've got to play Arsenal still. Do you feel like Arsenal's performance yesterday was one of a team that's starting to just feel the pressure, or coming back in that style? Is that the mark of a champion or a champion in the making? Let me know what you think, guys, on that one. Tony's price tag, that's been talked about a lot in the papers today, and Wolves hoping to start a bidding war for Neto. Now, their financial situation is dire. Well, it's not dire. They've just about got away with financial fair play because of their other two previous years of financial figures, but they have made a massive loss, so they're looking to sell stars. United are interested in Neto and in Tony, so I want to get your thoughts on them as well today. But to start it all off, obviously we have Croissant Gate. It is there. Calm down, everybody. You know what it goes. You have to get the likes way up and beyond before you even get near having a bite of that. And yeah, play the game. Come on, give the video a like and obviously subscribe to Forever United TV. Welcome along, everyone. There's a few people in here now. This is the paper round, so thank you for joining us. The main headline I wanted to get into today, though, was of what Wayne Rooney was saying yesterday. Now, obviously, after being let go by Birmingham, he's been doing quite a lot more punditry. He's been on the panels with Sky, TNT yesterday, the BBC. Pretty much every single United game possible since his sacking from Birmingham. Wayne Rooney has been there and he's been very opinionated and very outspoken about Manchester United, particularly the players. A little bit today on Erik ten Hag as well. But I want to get into what he was saying regarding Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes yesterday. I don't want to make it all about Marcus Rashford because he did have a dig at certain bits of Bruno Fernandes as well. Now, for me, I don't know about you guys. Obviously, get your comments coming in. I can see them as well, and I will come to the comment section as I always do. But Wayne Rooney, for me, is a player that I feel has got the right to actually give an opinion, actually go in on a player, especially when it comes to lack of effort, let's say, because that was one man that absolutely gave everything to the cause. He run through brick walls. He left everything out on the pitch. His heart was on his shoulder. He was just one player, I would say, if I could choose to bring back from yesteryears of Manchester United's Premier League eras, I would bring back Wayne Rooney right now. Just his work rate and that drive up front. And how much do we miss a player like Wayne Rooney right now in our front line? Anyone like that? I know Højlund's coming back, but Wayne Rooney has pretty much gone in on the attitude of Marcus Rashford. I mean, in the game yesterday, first of all, he said it could have been a stupid mistake from Bruno Fernandes. And I think he's sort of going down the road of why Manchester United are so soft. And I understand where he's coming from with this. I do. I feel like Manchester United players, it's like the captain, you're doing your captain's bit. I touched on it. I alluded to it, guys. I didn't get cut off by sound too much there. I didn't even realise it was happening, but it's Mother's Day and certain people are trying to call. But yeah, going back into what Wayne Rooney was saying was, I feel like the players are becoming soft, and soft captaincy from Bruno Fernandes, I think, is what he's alluding to in this one. It's like, get the game won. Forget about the sentimental and helping someone out. The most important thing is getting the result on the pitch. Now, if Marcus Rashford would have missed that penalty yesterday, yes, Marcus Rashford would have got load of stick for missing it. You know what it's like with the situation with him at the moment, and everything going around on that. But Bruno Fernandes would have been slaughtered yesterday if that had been missed. And somehow Everton came back into that game. It was on a knife edge. You don't go around making decisions like that when you're only 1-0 up and the game is so tight. Because let's be honest, United were more than in the game with Everton yesterday. Everton, I thought, could have done a lot more with the chances that they created. Thankfully for us, they can't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. They are poor, and in front of goal, dreadful. There's nothing that they could have done yesterday to score a goal. Everything else but, and like Sean Dyche said, I can't believe I've come away from Old Trafford having missed so many chances. The 2 penalties for United, both guaranteed penalties, yes. But in your opinions, guys, I want to know exactly what you thought of what Wayne Rooney was going in on. Should we have just Bruno Fernandes as the captain? Most important thing is the result. Get on with it first. Get the win. Score the goal. That's got to come first. It's like, forget about what you're thinking, trying to help your teammate out. I understand that side of it, but is it not more important just to get everything working on the pitch first, i.e. the positive result, which we desperately needed? Now, I know you could say this is a little bit on the downside of things because we did score the penalty. I'm just talking about what Wazza was saying, and his opinion on it is similar to a lot of people in the stadium yesterday, and it was great. I wanted to talk about that because there's another story that's come out. I think this was in the Mail, and they were talking about how the atmosphere at Old Trafford when Marcus Rashford scored that goal just seemed to be dead. Now, I was at the stadium and I don't know how it sounded on TV. And guys, if you were watching it on TV, did it seem like no one could be bothered cheering? Because in the paper it says that the atmosphere was dead. It did not even realise Marcus Rashford had scored the penalty. It didn't seem that way to me. I mean, we were up cheering. I was absolutely buzzing because we had scored 2 goals in the first half and we were reasonably comfortable at that stage, having made a poor start to the game. So for me, I thought, yeah, it was loud enough, but they're saying that all of a sudden the atmosphere in Old Trafford, even when you score a goal, the fans can't even get up for it. Now, is this them making a meal out of it just to sell a paper or get some headlines or clicks? I don't know. But the atmosphere at Old Trafford has died off because of the effort of the players. And this all together, I think they're putting all of these stories out at the same time because they all collaborate with each other, really. Rooney going on Bruno Fernandes and the fan base thinking that he should have just got the game won, took charge in that moment. The atmosphere against Marcus Rashford right now, no one can even be up cheering a goal. And then the whole talk of what is going on right now, the attitude of the players, and Wayne Rooney then going in on Marcus Rashford. And the big point that he made with the Marcus Rashford story was, he was asked if he had any sympathy for Marcus. And he said, to be honest, no. No. He's in a privileged position where he's playing for Manchester United. If there was anyone I thought, Wayne Rooney was saying this, if there was anyone I thought that could break my goal scoring record, it was Marcus Rashford. And he's true when he said that, because he said this 2 years ago as well. He said it in less sort of, I would say, nice. He said it in a less nice way than he did yesterday. Obviously, he was working on mainstream media yesterday, but last time he was asked an opinion about Marcus Rashford was when he was having the season before last one. And if you remember rightly, Marcus Rashford was having another stinker then. So Wayne Rooney has gone in on Marcus Rashford then and said he needs to pull his finger out and get on with it. And I feel like he's there again. Second season, again, one good one, one bad one. We're in a bad one right now. And Wayne Rooney's right in what he's saying, in my opinion. But I think it all comes down to the whole player attitude thing now. And the vibe they're coming out of Old Trafford yesterday with the fans was that these players are playing like the season's over. They're playing like they know that Ten Hag is gone. They're playing like that there's nothing else left to play for. Now, obviously, it may be different. Well, I hope it's different against Liverpool this Sunday, but you just don't know. People are starting to pick up on it. The media are going to run with it, and they're going to slaughter United on this because they're seeing it. Every single match report that I've looked through so far has been one of underwhelming. Garnacho saves United, and Ten Hag has got big problems again. He's watching a different game. They're all saying exactly the same thing. It's like the story here on the Mirror pullout says, Garnacho raises a lone shout for real Old Trafford. Game changers, the players. I mean, to make sense of it, it's one of another academy player holding the atmosphere together at Old Trafford and giving the fan base hope. Now, everything that's going on off the pitch, as we know, with Sir Jim Radcliffe and everything like that, seems to be moving in the right direction. But I think the anger within the fan base and what I took from yesterday and the journalists that were there yesterday and the match reports and Wayne Rooney's comments, I feel it's one of, we've got 10 games to go this season, possibly 13 if we go all the way to the FA Cup final. And it's all being played out like there is nothing left to play for. And that's the concern, I think, and that's what they're all picking up on. Is that to look at the league table now and see United having played 28 games and have 0 goal difference, it's really embarrassing for the football club. It's really embarrassing for the team, Ten Hag at the moment, and you can see why people are saying, like myself and a lot of other people, why the writing is on the wall. So, yeah, I think that's what came out of Old Trafford yesterday, and the reports that we're reading this morning are all of the same. It is United are just playing out games here, just hoping for the end of the season, and players hanging around to see if Ten Hag is still there. They feel like there's a fresh start coming next season. It is a big, big concern. It's a massive concern. Let's get into your comments. Please give the video a like, guys, as well. Well over 300 in the room with us right now. Let's get up to that 100 mark, everyone. Stephanie says, Bruno also gave Rashford the penalty at Goodison. He did. It's like, some people would say that Bruno's doing his captain's job. I don't wear it like that. I'm with Wayne Rooney on this one. I'm just like, forget that. Let's go get the penalty, score the goal. It is just soft for me. It just feels like it's sugarcoating everything. I just don't believe in it. I feel like we just need to get back to the old cutthroat days of Manchester United. There was one penalty taker, and until he started really missing penalties consistently, then he stayed the same penalty taker. Stop messing around giving it to whoever. Because you know what I'm talking about here. And it is sort of saying, look, we scored the goal, what are we moaning about? If we didn't, then you can imagine what was going on and what would be written and what people would be saying and the negativity running around. I just feel like we're in this sort of soft soap mode, this football team at the moment. We're trying to help each other out. We're thinking too much about how we're going to get through the end of the season without getting too much criticism, rather than thinking and concentrating on exactly what we're doing on the pitch. Because again, you couldn't tell what United were doing yesterday. You could easily see the game plan from Sean Dyche's Everton, but you couldn't see it from Man United. So that's my problem with what's going on at the football team right now. And there's quite a few other people that are saying it as well. So yeah, I just look at it and go, just get on with it. Let's concentrate on the football side of things and not worry about what people are going to say. And let's have a good go towards the end of the season. That's what you've got to look at. But I just don't think we're going to get that. More comments. We can't even string 2 simple passes. Dobby says, McTominay scored some goals for us off the bench, but I always remember him running slower than the ref versus Bayern, and that ref header versus Spurs at home, and the free header against Spurs at home. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I can understand where Dobby's looking there. I mean, straight away you're looking at it and you're looking at the negatives of Scott McTominay. I seen a message pop up from Graham. I think he was alluding to me being negative about my match report yesterday regarding the favourites of Ten Hag. It was the favourites of Ten Hag yesterday, and it wasn't a case of, yeah, look at who else we had to pick. It was a case of Ten Hag's favourites are just not good enough for Manchester United. There is no one else to pick. They've got us the win. But these players, the bigger picture is, they're not bleeding good enough. They're not good enough. And that's the problem we've got. Will Man United says, morning everyone. Morning guys. Morning Adam. 10 games left. I think realistically we will get 6 and Europa League, because I feel our football is unsustainable. It's the hope that kills you with these players. It really is. Geo says, Ten Hag came with a reputation for playing dynamic, exciting football. United are a million miles away from Arsenal, Liverpool and City. That's true. Nothing wrong with 2 penalty takers. There is for me. There really is. I'm just old school. I understand what you're saying, Brian. They both went in and there's nothing to complain about. There really isn't. But I'm old school. That's just my opinion on that. And I agree with what Wayne Rooney says. I'm only talking about it because of what Wayne Rooney was saying in the media and what he said yesterday at the game. I was thinking it could have backfired. It's like, don't risk it. Just don't. General Food, in other reports, apparently, we are signing Elise. Yeah, there are other reports saying that, but them reports have been there for a while. I want to get into other news regarding transfers in this show as well, guys. I just want to get through a few more of your questions and some of your comments. I don't know what you're saying there, Graham. He says, but Adam, you know that will not change in the short term. Graham, I'm just saying, I'm stating the facts, mate. You're trying to snooker me, but you haven't got the ball and cue skills to do it, mate. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the players are just not good enough. You have got other options. Mainoo, for me, I feel, is now a victim of playing around alongside weaker players. He does his role yesterday. He gets it to McTominay. It breaks down. It breaks down. It breaks down every time with him. And then he stays on the pitch because there's no more options. And what is Ten Hag doing with Christian Eriksen? He's on one hand got an argument in not having many players available, but on the other hand, he actually has got players available and he can do something with them players. He can change it up, but he refuses not to. So for me, yeah, I do believe that he has got some form of excuse when it comes to Scott McTominay playing. But he could have played Anthony yesterday. Didn't have to play Scott. He did. And it failed. Because Scott was horrendous yesterday for me. Really poor. But what do you think of his haircut? Right. What else have we got? A super chat in from Lee Mack. Thank you, Lee. Have a bite to that croissant. It's winking at you. Nowhere near enough likes for that. Guys, you know, if you want a bite of the croissant, and you want what they call a mukbang, where I'm talking and eating, it's not the professional way to do it, but still, you need to get to 200 likes. That's the minimum on that. And you're miles away at the moment, guys. You're failing on Mother's Day. No, I'm not saying it that way. You're just failing on this show. Hope everyone's mums are all right, and I hope you're all having a great day. I've got loads of plans later on. Maybe sat down watching the Liverpool game versus City on Mother's Day. Guys, I will be on T4 doing the watch-along later as well for all you members out there. You have got the message. You have got the extra video there, so we will be there later doing that. And then tonight we are back for the Sunday evening show, proper Sunday evening show. Me and Jay going over everything that's happened this weekend and analysing what is to come over the next few days. There's quite a lot to talk about tonight, actually. Into a few more of your comments. Bob Builder, told you last night, just sack him, Adam. Yep. Graham says, I'm a broken record. United are a broken record, and we talk about United on this show, Graham, so that's why. It's not me. And you've got no excuse either, Graham. You've got no comeback on that one. Because, I'm just reading through a few more comments now. Your explanation of things is wrong. Ten Hag just needs to go, man. I'm tired of the excuses. Do you guys feel like a new manager bounce is what will see us through the end of this season? I don't know. I'm not 100% certain on that. I don't think a new manager bounce is what's needed now. I just say, look, let Ten Hag see out the season. I think we'll know before the end of the season. I'm not bothered about an interim manager right now. I feel like sometimes Ten Hag can get something out of the players, and we get these odd moments where we can have a little bit of glory. A new manager coming in now isn't going to guarantee you top 4. It doesn't guarantee you winning the FA Cup. For me, I'm just leaving him there. We've got 10 games to sit through and just let Ineos make that decision, which I think has already been made. I think when it comes to the end of the season, we will all know definitely what is going on and what's happening. Malps has been a member for 2 months. Croissant time. It isn't, mate. You are still 87 likes away from that happening. So, yeah, if you want me to starve, then don't like the video. But you don't want to do that. So like the video, then I can have a bite for breakfast. Let's just see. Nowadays, when I watch United, it's like I'm watching The Bold and Beautiful. Passion is gone. Passion does seem to have left Old Trafford completely. And I'm not just talking about the players. The players do affect the atmosphere. When you see a player that's not putting in everything, then you automatically just sit back yourself. You sort of cannot, it doesn't give you the same enthusiasm for the game, does it? I think that's what the problem is at United right now. Nothing's working on the pitch. The fans are struggling to get up for it because they feel like it's not going anywhere. There is no progress at all this season under Ten Hag and this team, and it's hard to get behind it a lot of the time because you pay good money to watch the football and you end up getting let down constantly. That's what it's like. I agree with Graham on that. New manager is a complete waste of time. Mel says, if let Erik Ten Hag see out the rest of the season, FA Cup is gone if he doesn't win the FA Cup. UAP mothership, no manager will change the mentality of these players. The players have failed every manager in the last 10 years, going back into that. I mean, into other news on these players, and there is a lot of talk of Mainoo and a new contract. Now, I wanted to read through all of this because it wasn't a case of United. The headline would read that United making the same mistake again. Mainoo's getting a treble up. That basically reading Manchester United are giving everything to another player again who isn't fully proven yet. And I know what you see, Mainoo is really good. He's had a good start, but there's still a lot more to convince me that he should be on bigger wages. But the story says, teenage Manchester United sensation Mainoo is set to treble his wages at Old Trafford on £60,000 a week. Mainoo, who only triggered a new deal taking his weekly wage to 20 grand a week when he made his first 10 first team appearances, is going to be rewarded with another rise after forcing his way into Erik Ten Hag's plans with a string of impressive performances. It is seen as a deserved reward for the 18-year-old Manchester-born midfielder. His current contract runs out in 2027, although United have the option for a further 12-month extension on that. We've spoken about that before, actually. But talks have already started about persuading Mainoo to extend his deal to 2030, and a new deal will include a series of triggers that would make him one of the club's best earners should his stellar progress continue in the coming years. Mainoo is already attracting admiring glances from England manager Gareth Southgate ahead of the European Championships. This week, Southgate will name his squad for the Wembley friendlies against Brazil and Belgium later this month, and he could open the door for Mainoo. Now, that I have not got a problem with. I think that's structured and it's right. So, the 20 grand a week has come because he's made a certain amount of starts. So, this is a performance-related contract, and I think this is the right way to go. This is everything that Manchester United should have been doing a long time ago. It's a mould that City use as well, reward-based contracts. So if you're achieving a lot and the team's doing well, that's fine. But the problem I've got with this, and I've said this before, is a player's contract and a contract which is rewarded with performances shouldn't be individual performances. If you contribute, say for instance, Mainoo's got another 10 grand a week because he's made 10 starts. I mean, seriously? You might as well just throw money away. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that, but imagine you start giving that to every single player. The amount of games that United have got in a season, everyone's going to start hitting this mark. So my issue with player rewarded contracts was that players are going to start looking for goals rather than playing the team game, passing the ball rather than shooting. The pass is the easier option, but because they've got this performance-related contract in mind, and if they hit a certain amount of goals or contribute a certain amount of assists or anything, or make a certain amount of appearances, they're automatically thinking for themselves. I think contracts should be rewarded on team achievement more than what that individual player is doing. I feel like that should be where it is with players. If United finish in the top 4 and you hit that certain amount of marks, a certain amount of appearances, certain amount of goals or assists, then it's triggered. It's about the team. You have to, first of all, be in the top 4 or set a certain standard or line. If you fall below that, your rewarded contract is null and void. The team comes first, and then your performance-related stuff is on top of that. I think that's where United need to go with that, and I don't think it should be based on individual performances alone, because that way you get what we've got now. Single moment FC, where players turn up, Marcus Rashford goes through, makes the wrong decision. instead of passing it. Bruno Fernandes tries to smash one from 30 yards instead of slipping it out wide for someone to cross it in. You can see why Højlund's been frustrated, because players like Bruno, like Rashford, like whoever, like McTominay on stages yesterday, Anthony himself as well, all of the forward players at the football club are guilty of this. Not just the big names like Bruno and Rashford, all of them are. It's like, instead of making it simple, they've gone for the glory moment and it's completely failed on them. So that, for me, I think is where it will affect things. In other news in the papers, actually I'm going to get into some of your comments on that before I move on to the next bit. Carl says, Real Madrid would give Garnacho 300 to 400 now. We do have to evaluate it. I don't think they would give him that much, mate. You're joking, aren't you? There's not a chance in hell that Garnacho's worth 300 grand a week. I'm sorry, I know he's good, but he ain't that good. And he doesn't start for Real Madrid, so there's no way that they're giving the player that's going to be part of a squad and not a first team starter that amount of money. Sorry, that is just unrealistic and definitely never going to happen. We're on our way up on the likes, guys, nearly at the 150 mark. Please give the video a like, share the video as well. Let's get more people in on this chat. This is your time now in the middle of the show. The fan from Singapore said it best yesterday. That was Anthony, who said it was shit. It wasn't a great game. No one can say it was. Stephanie says, way too soon to reward Mainoo. It will heap more pressure on this young man. Just let him play football. Contract improvements should be based on trophies, says UK Strains. What did Rash need explain? I don't know what you're saying there with that one. It didn't make sense. Sorry. Super chat. First super chat in for Stephen Harper. The players should be giving 100% every game without reward. Definitely. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Really appreciate that. Rashford, McTominay, Maguire sold before Erik ten Hag is sacked, says Dobbe. Dobbe, in a real world, that is never going to happen, mate. I think you have to just start accepting that, buddy. Bill says, Real are never going to come for Garnacho. He's not good enough and he'll never be good enough for Real Madrid. Oh, so he's good enough for United, though. Someone going in on Mainoo. On Garnacho here. I mean, when I look at the papers today, it is all of Garnacho giving United hope. In most of the papers, his rating was better than everyone else's. But I said I've seen mistakes from Garnacho. I mean, I didn't even bring him up. I don't think it's fair that I didn't mention Garnacho in decision making, because yesterday there was a couple of times where him himself made a poor decision when going through clean on goal. And that is the biggest fear in all of it. You feel like these players are just going to go glory hunting constantly all the time, and they're not going to play for the team. It's not going to matter. It's all about what their stats are. We can't let this happen. We can't be in a world where Manchester United players are rewarded correctly for improved performances, but not individuals. If individuals come second to team, it has to be that way. Otherwise, I don't think much will change, because you tell me what part of this team right now is working cohesively. There's no partnerships working. The only one that I can see working well is Varane and Evans. I thought they were outstanding again yesterday. Very, very good, the pair of them. And I feel it's our best partnership right now. It really is. It really is. There is more news regarding Donny van der Beek, sadly, again in the papers today. Beeks on way back. Oh, God, man. Donny, like, seriously. He has got one of the saddest faces in the world. It's like I feel sorry for my face, isn't it? I'm only joking with that there, like, but I do feel sorry for him that his career has gone down the pan. It really has. But Man United made a massive mistake bringing Donny in. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made a huge mistake in convincing him to stay that summer and telling his agent that he had plans for him and then never used him. We could have got rid of him then, and we wouldn't even be talking about him right now. But the story again, Manchester United flop. Donny van der Beek is expected to return to Old Trafford this summer after failing to impress on loan at Eintracht Frankfurt. The Dutch midfielder below has been in and out of the starting lineup in Germany, where he has already been an unused sub on 3 separate occasions following his January loan lifeline. Frankfurt negotiated an option to buy for 12.5 million plus add-ons when they signed the 26-year-old, but the Bundesliga club currently have no intention of triggering that clause. No surprise there. So all of our arguments, debates, conversations and videos on us not negotiating the right deal for loanee players this January is completely irrelevant right now, because none of them are going to get triggered. I think the only player out on loan, there's a couple out on loan right now I can see getting permanent moves, are Alvaro Fernandez and Mason Greenwood. Everyone else, as always, will come back to United. Welcome back to that big red United bubble. Here's your comfort zone. Soft soap time. There you go. Pamper them. Wrap them up in cotton wool and give them everything, thinking that they're absolute superstars. That's coming back this summer, unless Ineos really get hard on things. This is the problem we've got. United built these players up to be something that they're not. They think they're that, and they go away, they find it really difficult because they're having to work even harder or work to a standard level, and they fall way short of it. That, for me, is the biggest problem right now that United have got. I don't believe that anyone of Man United players, unless it's a young player coming through, is going to go away from this club and improve, because they're given too much too soon. This is the issue with the way it's run. And again, something else that you could say that Ineos have to really get a grip of going into the summer. They do. They're going to have to take losses. They're talking about being these hard negotiators, Sir Jim Radcliffe, not bowing down to offers from other clubs and not paying prices or being taken to the cleaners for certain players. I actually think, and I'm happy with the way Ineos are working, I don't think they're going to find transfers very easy at all. Because if they're going in hard, which they should be, and it's right in saying what they're saying in Ineos and Sir Jim Radcliffe, that we're not going to be taken to the cleaners, we're not going to be overpriced or accept inflated Man United tax or anything like that. It's all right saying that. It is right, but expect a period of hard negotiating and probably a few losses. And losses, I mean, us not actually getting the players. Because United have been known as a team that is going to be the pushover in the transfer market for so long now. And when you look at it, it's going to take a long time for us to actually turn that around. Point in case right now is Dan Ashworth. Why is he still not at Manchester United? Ineos were going to do everything in their power to make this happen. Money was not an option in certain things. It is for this, we know it is because Sir Jim Radcliffe said it, but when was this announced? Was it about a month ago now? Near enough, a month ago when we heard about Dan Ashworth coming to United. It's still not happened. We're about to head into the summer with the turmoil that I just said, with all these loanee players coming back and the same old regime still working behind the scenes, i.e. Murto, Ten Hag's plan at the moment. So when it comes to players as well, you're going to be looking at it and you're going to go in with all the right intentions and say, we're not going to get taken to the clear, we're just going to be hard in our negotiations, we're going to get the player at this price, we're not going to pay above this price, then we probably won't end up getting that player. And in some cases that is good. But a United situation right now, when we are going to be getting rid of a lot of players, we do need some players coming in as well, and I just think it's going to be very difficult for United this summer. I think it's going to be a hard one. Everything that's been put in place is right, but again, the patience factor. Don't expect it to be turned around very quickly. Straight away, I think financial fair play comes into it. The story about Ivan Toney in the papers today. Tony's tag must drop by 14 million is the story coming out of the Mirror. Brentford will have to slash their asking price for Ivan Toney if they wish to draw the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea to the negotiating table. This does involve United, because I feel like financial fair play doesn't just count for this. I think it counts for every single transfer now. Everyone's seen what happened to Everton, what's happening to Nottingham Forest right now. I feel like eventually it will bring the prices down of players, and I think a lot of players will end up staying in England, and we'll start seeing a lot more British talent being brought from Premier League clubs, younger players coming through, rather than going abroad, because financial fair play is pretty much scuppered all of that. Like, you're not going to be able to do what Chelsea did with Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez anymore, I don't think. I think the reality is hit home, and now Chelsea are going to be in a position where they cannot sell players for inflated prices like they have been doing. It's going to be impossible because no one can afford it. No one can afford it. No one in Europe can afford it because they haven't got the riches of the Premier League. There's only Barcelona and, say, Real Madrid, and even Barcelona, they're struggling with financial fair play right now, so they're out of the reckoning. Kylian Mbappe is going to Real Madrid because he's a free transfer. Times are changing, and the so-called big inflated prices in the Premier League for players is going to have to drop very quickly. So if they want to bring Arsenal/Chelsea to the negotiating table, they need to drop by 40 million. Arsenal had been showing strong interest in the England international ahead of the winter transfer window, but were hamstrung by financial restrictions due to the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. Since then, Tony has returned from his ban for breaching FA betting rules, but the landscape has changed as potential striker targets such as Sporting's Victor Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig have impressed. There are cheaper options out there than some of the English talent. You've got the English Premier League inflated prices situation going on. It's always the same, always will be, and it's never going to change. You've just got to accept that prices are going to come down. 1 year left on his contract. At the age that he is, Ivan Toney's not going to go for anything above 50 million, in my opinion. Not a chance. Not a chance. Do you guys actually rate Toney? Get into the comment section now, guys. Would this be a striker that would work for us? It all comes down to actually who the manager is at the end of the day, doesn't it? 100% agree, which is why I'm Erik Ten Hag in, always talking to Stu. These players would throw any manager under the bus to make themselves look good. Look, at the end of the day, Dobby, I know you keep going on about players before Ten Hag. You're dead right on that, and that in a perfect world is how it would go. But what you've got to also look at is the style of play. Erik Ten Hag, I think he's done. I don't think Ineos want him on that side of things. They just don't see this man as being able to give them what they want. But you're right on the player side as well, mate. You've got to get rid of these players. It has to start with the big name players as well. We will be able to spend a lot of money in this summer transfer window, whether we're in the Champions League or not. Champions League helps, but I feel like selling the likes of Sancho and Greenwood, that's going to raise the money that we would have lost from being in the Champions League. Then everything else on top of that and what we can spend, I think we will bring in a few players this summer, but the ones that are here now, I think, are what everyone is talking about. I've never been building up to a summer transfer window and not really bothered about certain players coming in. It has totally changed this year under Ten Hag, and like the enthusiasm from last season going into this year has drained the life out of me. In fact, with what we've been watching this season, it has been so poor. Right now, I'm looking at all the other Premier League teams talking about bringing certain players in, like Tony to Arsenal, like who he's going to buy Danny van der Beek. You're seeing who City are targeting in the papers and Liverpool and what they're looking to rebuild on. Arsenal's new plan. What do they need? If they don't get the Championship, don't get the Premier League this season, then what do they need to add? Manchester United, it is all about who is going right now. Who United are going to be getting rid of. That's all I can think about. I can't think about anything else. There is nothing else at all out there that I'm really bothered about. I can understand targets and players that I like. There are some players out there that I love at the football club, but I honestly do not care right now about who is coming in. It has to be about who is leaving. And that's where this club is at. I think everyone is just sick to death of underperforming, overpaid players at Manchester United. Drab, dull football. They don't care about new players coming in. They just want to see the end of this era of absolute dross. They want to see the end of poor Manchester United performances at home. Losing to, no disrespect, the likes of Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Fulham. These teams, all with a better plan and actually look better on the eye. United are just not appealing to watch. They're really not. And when you've got a bunch of players in a squad that really do not care about that and are more concerned with their own personal profiles, what's going on in their own lives and how things are going to be written and said about them in the media, then you're not going to get a cohesive unit, a team that's going to work together, a team that's going to actually progress up that table. You look at every other team in the league, you can tell there's a togetherness. Anyone watching from the outside for Manchester United can see that there are major problems. You could not tell who the home team was yesterday. Everton had more possession, Everton had more shots, Everton had a game plan. They passed the ball better than what United did yesterday. There were moments where United were good, I'm not going to deny that. We had them moments again, here and there, but still, Manchester United yesterday, I thought, if they would have gone away in that game without winning, then no one would have complained, no one at all. We were really happy that we got the win because we needed it. We needed to get back up there. And it was massively important for the team and Ten Hag. And I want Ten Hag to succeed. I do. But I'm not going to sit here and not talk about his frailties and what he's got wrong, because he's got an awful lot wrong. It's got to a stage now where people are that, I'm not going to say, I don't know what the right word is to call them, but they're that just acceptance of the average performances and the mediocrity at the club, that anyone who criticises anyone is seen as this negative influence on the Man United fan base. It's not the case. It's just people giving their opinion like myself and what they're watching week in, week out. You will never convince me that this team right now on the pitch is good enough to compete for a Premier League title. We are never, ever going to compete for a title until 3/4 of this squad are gone. And that is the sorry state of affairs at United. That is exactly what needs to be done to get United competing again. And it's not going to be done overnight. It's going to take, like Sir Jim said, 3 years. I think 5. I've always stuck to 5. I think his 3-year plan is unrealistic. I really do. I really do. And talking of the title, we're a million miles away. Liverpool's rallying cry in the papers today. Win it or we'll cop it, says Pep. Already Manchester City working on the referees. I spoke with a City fan this morning. As usual, at Anfield, we're going to get that one decision that doesn't go our way. Pep Guardiola already sending his shots in on the referees. Remember the days when Fergie used to be doing this? They were good old days, weren't they? When we was having the Fergie mind games. I'd go back to being in Pep's position right now, easily, and moaning about referee decisions and not getting a rub of the green. It seems a million miles away, doesn't it? Dobby says, all Prem teams have FX, United have Player Power FC and worry more about the social media interactions than results. Robert says, give me fried breakfast in Belfast with Russia. Right. Want City to win? I don't know. I don't want City to win. I can't handle. Maybe a draw in Arsenal, Pip and both. It's the best scenario we can hope for right now. Adam, you seem to enjoy being angry and upset. Do I seem to be enjoying watching my team demoralise me every single week? Hey, it comes across. I'm trying to look actually happy and trying to be upbeat in talking about what's going wrong. It's hard, but no, I don't. It is hard work talking about United right now in a positive light. It really is. You tell me, on the pitch, what is positive with this team right now, apart from the younger players and Rasmus Højlund. I'm hoping that Martinez coming back in early April, Rasmus back, maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka back next week. That's really positive right now. That's literally the biggest positive we've got. Super chat from Lee. Hi, mate. Great weather in Cape Town. Good for you, mate. It's crap here. Freezing. These players we have is a bunch of, what's that? Soccerinas? Like ballerinas? Oh, soccerinas. Right. He's calling United players soccerinas rather than ballerinas. All for themselves. They can't even hold a ball. No, it's... I mean, we've done it. We've gone over it numerous times, haven't we? Is it the players? Is it Ten Hag's methods? What's the real excuse here? What is the real problem at the football club? It's everything into one. Everything into one. Ten Hag, the United players, their attitudes, the fan base not getting on board with what's going on. But can you blame us? Like, there's no connection between the fans and the players right now. Back to what I was just saying there. I mean, guys, who do you think is winning that game today? I want to know. I mean, the important game for us is Villa against Spurs. Because if we win that, if Villa win that, then they're gone. Top 4 is finished completely. Like, that is just way too much. With 10 games to go, 11 points. I can't see us catching Villa, but we can catch Spurs. So 2 games in hand on them now, 3 points behind Spurs. Are you going for a Villa win or a Spurs win? And let me know as well in the chat, guys, who you want to win this game between Liverpool and City. Should we just say, let's get a draw here, and that brings Arsenal right in on them? I think that's the best scenario right now. When you look at the league table, actually, I want to just have a quick nosy at that. Then the situation with Arsenal at top by a point, they will stay top if City and Arsenal draw because of goal difference. I think we have to hope for a draw, don't we? We do. And if Villa win, they'll be level on points with us. Level on games with us, but they will be, 11 points ahead of us. Spurs, we're not catching any of them teams on goal difference either. So it is all about results. It is. Somehow Manchester United have managed to win 15 games this season. I don't know how we've managed to do that, but we have. It's win or lose, isn't it? We don't do draws. It's crazy. But yeah, 2 draws all season. The least draws out of any team in the league. Again, it was the same last season as well. But it has kept us up there just about. 11 defeats is horrible, but only 39 goals scored is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. We just are nothing without Rasmus Højlund up front. Let's see what you guys are saying about the results today. Villa win by 1 goal. Hopefully 2 draws. Daz says, Daz, I'm with you on that, but I still don't think 10 points we can catch. Sorry, what's it going to be? So it would be 11, so it would be 8, 9 points behind Villa if they draw today. Not good. Not good at all. I don't think we'll be able to do that with the games that we've got. I don't. The only chance we've got is if we somehow hope that Spurs it up and we scrape 5th, and Liverpool and City and Villa go far in the European competitions and we get that 5th spot in the Champions League. So, yeah, I feel like that's our only hope for the season. Well, guys, that pretty much is the paper round done. What's that? Oh, everyone's trying to get that croissant eaten, aren't they? Right, guys, come on. Here it is, croissant time. I'm going to finish the stream as I eat it. You've got to get the likes up. We're nearly there. Only 3 likes away are we now? Like the video, guys. Come on, make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. It has been the paper round. It's been a pleasure talking to you all again. And yes, hopefully you'll be back with us tonight. I'm just going to get my helper to end the stream for me right now as well. But guys, you've got it in. 200 likes. Thank you very much. I will see you all tonight. Don't forget, guys, if you are wanting to watch the Liverpool and City watch along, get into that members post on that video earlier on. All the information is there. Hopefully I'll see a few of you guys there as well. But have a great Mother's Day. Hope you're doing something nice later on, and I'll see you all later on tonight with Jay as we go over everything that's happened this weekend. And I'll see you later.